I'm Stacy Hansen. Welcome to the Sports News on CW57, your home for local high school, collegiate, and club sports. Now let's get you off the bench and into the game with this week's headlines. The Milwaukee Bucks have continued their aggressive offseason and free agency by officially re-signing Khris Middleton to a 5-year, $70 million deal. Middleton averaged 13.4 points last season. He will be joined by former Detroit Pistons teammate Greg Monroe. Monroe, a 6'11 center, signed a 3-year, $50 million deal. The third year is a player option. Monroe spurned the LA Lakers and the New York Knicks to join the Bucks. In other off-season news, the Bucks have also traded Zaza Pachulia to Dallas for a future second-round pick, as well as Jared Dudley to Washington for a future second-round pick. The Wisconsin Badgers' Rafael Gaglianone has been named to the 2015 Lou Groza Award preseason watch list as one of the best kickers in the country. Of the 30 players named by the Palm Beach County Sports Commission, 4 are from the Big Ten Conference. A native of Sao Paulo, Brazil, the sophomore kicker Gaglianone already ranks 10th in school history with 19 career field goals and was an honorable mention All-Big Ten pick. Semi-finalists for the annual Lou Groza Awards will be announced on November 5th. Liam Moreno, a 12-year-old boy from Cottage Grove, has been selected to play on the USSSA All-American team. Moreno will represent the Central Region U11 team in the USSSA All-American Games August 2nd through the 7th in Orlando, Florida. Moreno credits Venezuelan 15-year-old Roger Cardenas, who his family hosted earlier this year, in part for his success. Moreno practiced with Cardenas for 4 hours a day and also worked with the CIBA Baseball Academy to prepare for this achievement. The Green Bay Packers have said they have no plans to release Andrew Corliss following his arrest July 4th. Corliss was arrested in Miami Beach, Florida, after police say he had allegedly fired 2 shots into the air during an argument outside of a parking garage. Corliss, who is entering his 6th season with the Packers, allegedly pulled out a handgun after an altercation with 2 women. After firing the shots, Corliss and the driver of a black Porsche fled, but were later found and the gun was recovered. Reports state that Corliss tried to hide the gun in a potted plant. The Packers tight end was charged with a misdemeanor for discharging a firearm in public. Stay tuned for more sports news coming up next. Welcome back to the Sports News. With me now is Katie Liebman and Captain Sophie Pitney from the Stoughton High School girls swims team. Thanks for joining us today.
Thanks for having us.
So tell us about changes in the coaching staff this season in Stoughton.
Yeah, we have a great history of coaching on the Stoughton girls swim team. Coach Jo Sheehan started in 1978 and she coached all the way until my senior year, 2000. Followed that was Coach Elise, and she coached from 2001 all the way until just this last year when she retired. So I've taken over for my 2 coaches.
So what brought you to the Stoughton girls swim team, and what experience do you hope to bring to its program?
I graduated from Stoughton High School in 2001 and I swam there all 4 years and I really enjoyed my time. I went on to go swim at the University of Nebraska Omaha, and after I finished my nursing degree, I thought it was time to come back and help out with the team, so I'm very happy to be back.
So what are your goals for this season?
Well, we have a lot of goals for the season. A couple of them include academics. We hope to have a great GPA this year. Last year we had 8 girls with 4.0s, and so we hope to keep the GPA above 3.5 for the team. And then also just to have great swim meets and to have best times at every single swim meet.
Captain Sophie, what makes your team special from your perspective?
We have a lot of fun. We have team dinners before every meet. We cheer at every meet. We make locker signs. We make sure we keep each other up. We're a very goal-oriented team inside and out of the pool. We have great student athletes.
So if someone in your area is interested in joining the swim team, what do they need to know?
Well, we don't have a lot of requirements just to join. If you can swim down and back, freestyle and backstroke, you're welcome to come give us a try. We'll teach you the rest. If you're not quite there yet, or if you're not in high school yet, you can try out our local club team. It's called STAR, Stoughton Aqua Racers, and the information should be at the bottom of the screen.
All right, great. And just real quickly from both of you, what's your favorite part of working with the team?
Oh gosh, I think that watching the girls improve every day is the most rewarding experience, and that's why I put in all the hard work for this team.
And Sophie, how about you?
I definitely like meeting new people and getting to know new people, especially my own age, and wanting the same things I do.
Well, thanks so much for joining us today, Katie and Sophie. We really enjoyed having you here. Welcome back to the Sports News. With me now is Paul Chelevald and Delaney Eigenberger from Madison Memorial's cross-country team. How are you doing today?
Good, thank you.
Doing great, thanks.
Now, Delaney, you're coming off a very successful 2014 cross-country season and state tournament race. What's your senior year encore?
Well, last season was so exciting. I just hope to come back and have a sectionals champion, be a sectionals champion again, and bring my team with me to state. And I just hope to come back even stronger and place higher, hopefully.
Great. Well, Coach, same question in regard to the team. To you, what do you take from last year into this next season?
Well, last year was pretty incredible for our school. It had been the first time since 2003 where our team qualified for state. We're hoping to build upon that from last year. It's going to be a challenge, we know that, but it should be a really exciting year, and we have many of the same pieces back.
Delaney, now what does summer entail for you as far as prepping for the next season to come?
Well, I've been going to summer running some mornings with my team and seeing everyone run as a team, but I've also been going to Athletic Republic to work on my form and speed and biking as well, so I don't get injured or anything.
Now, Coach, you have a huge team with over 100 girls, is that right?
That's right, yeah.
Now, how do you manage all that, and how do you keep up that level of interest?
Yeah, I think three things really. It's team, it's fun, and it's leadership. Obviously, our focus is team-oriented all the way. We want to do everything as a team, make sure every member does feel a part of a huger, bigger picture, which is the team. Obviously, to have that work, we have to have good leaders. And our coaches, our captains, our seniors have been through the program, and those are the people that have to get us through that. I can't be everywhere at once, obviously, so it is a challenge. And just obviously fun. These kids have so much going on with their regular schedules. It's just got to be about fun all the time.
Sure. Now, Delaney, speaking of fun, what is your favorite part of cross country?
Just as Paul was saying, like the team aspect, I love coming to practice and seeing everyone get better and working together. And we're just also like kind and helpful for each other. Like we cheer everybody on, and I get so excited after the meets to see everybody finish and see their excitement if they get a new time or do better. I just love everyone.
Well, thanks so much for joining us today. It was really nice getting to talk to you, and so exciting to hear about your successes. Stay tuned, and we'll have more of the sports news coming up next. Earlier this week, Ryan had the opportunity to talk to former Badger Jason Suttle about playing in the upcoming Brett Favre Legends game at Camp Randall.
Hello and welcome back to the Sports News. I'm very excited to welcome our next guest here. He's a very good friend of mine, and he will be playing in the Brett Favre Legends flag football game coming up at Camp Randall. It's Jason Suttle. Jason, thanks for joining me here today.
Hey, thanks for having me.
So tell us a little bit, for some of our viewers, your history in the game of football. We know you were a Badger and went on to play from there, so give us some highlights of your career.
Yeah, I played for the University of Wisconsin, Madison. I was a 3-year starter there under Barry Alvarez, and then after that I was fortunate enough to play for the Denver Broncos for a couple of years and the San Francisco 49ers.
Fantastic. And then you and I know each other. You were a coach with the Madison Mustangs. You were actually my coach on defense, and we've been great friends since then, so I want to thank you for coming today. Tell us a little bit about, some of the excitement or the emotion and some of what you have going into the Brett Favre game coming up.
Yeah, I'm pretty excited about it. It's going to be a really good game. It's a flag football game, Brett Favre's legendary game at Camp Randall, and I'm pretty pumped up about it. There's going to be a lot of good players there. I know a lot of legends from Green Bay, and then it's going to be versus NFL alumni, and obviously the big name is Brett Favre that's going to be there.
So how were you approached, and how did you fall into this to be a part of the game?
Well, actually, being a current firefighter in the city of Madison, the organizer actually is having a game before the Brett Favre game, and it's going to be firefighters versus police officers. So I had an opportunity to talk to him, and then he just asked me if I wanted to play in the second game. So I said, oh yeah.
That's cool. That'll be a unique experience. So will this be the first game you've had on the field at Camp Randall since your playing days as a Badger?
Yeah, it'll be the first game. I'm pretty excited about it. It is flag football, luckily, because some of the old injuries come back, but yeah, I'm pretty excited about it.
Now, with some of these players you're going to be going up against, is there anyone you were really good friends with or anyone you're excited to see again once you get out there?
Yeah, I'm pretty excited to play against Andre Rison and Antonio Freeman. I know Mark Shimura is going to be there. I actually played with a teammate, Byron Chamberlain. He's going to be there. He's a tight end. He's going to be on the NFL team. So.
And with that, there's a lot of other things going around with that Legends game. Obviously, it's right after Favre's inducted to the Packers Hall of Fame, and then they're going to be playing the game at Camp Randall after that. What are some of the other events or some of the other things that are involved in that game for you?
Well, again, the firefighter police game is before that, and during that time, they're going to have an autograph session with the professionals, the former pro players, and also a country music singer is going to be performing during the game also.
So a lot of exciting stuff going on, and that's coming up July 19th at Camp Randall, correct?
Correct.
Fantastic. We look forward to it. I look forward to coming out there and seeing you play again. Jason, thank you so much for joining us here on the Sports News today.
Thanks for having me. Appreciate it.
Welcome back to the Sports News. With me now is Bob Jors from the Middleton High School. He's the athletic director, and Tim Simon, who's the head football coach. Thanks for joining us today, guys.
Thanks, Stacy.
Thanks.
Coach Simon, how many years have you been the football coach at Middleton High School?
I just finished my 11th year as the head football coach, but I was an assistant coach before that.
I bet you've seen a lot of changes.
There have been quite a few. I mean, the athletes, I think, of all sports are bigger, faster, stronger than they were years ago. I think the main difference is the academic demands on the kids. So we have to really streamline our practices, make sure that we respect their time, that we make sure that we're efficient when we're on the field or in the classroom with film work to make sure that they have time to study when they get home.
So, Coach Simon, you mentioned that football numbers have grown. What do you attribute that to?
I think there's a couple factors. One, we're big into multiple sports at Middleton High School. 11 of our coaches on staff actually coach another sport. So we really promote not just our own football program, but we promote taking advantages of all the clubs and activities and music and athletic programs that we have, so the kids know that we genuinely care about them. I think that's a big part of why kids are deciding to play the sport of football.
So Bob, what does Middleton do as far as focusing athletes? Do they focus them on just one sport only, or do they try to get them interested in more than one?
No, definitely. Just the opposite, as Mr. Simon was saying. We have probably, on an average, about 125 to 150 kids that are out for 3 sports, which is unique in this day and age. But all of our coaches push and try to get all of the kids to get out for as many different athletic events as they can. We think that it helps build a well-rounded athlete, as well as helps in the other sports that they're not presently participating in. So as he says, our coaches also get involved, and we've done a nice job. Probably also 400 to 500 kids that are in at least 2 sports.
You know, we've actually followed our football program numbers over the last couple of years, and it's not out of the ordinary for 80% of those kids to be playing at least one other sport.
Wow, that's great. That's great. Bob, nowadays, it seems like everyone's worried about concussions. What can you do to grow football numbers in that kind of environment?
Well, that is a big scare always, but it's just not football. I think we need to educate that concussions are something that we're learning about, and they're happening, but they're happening in all sports. Obviously, the risk is a little bit higher in football because of the speed of the game, they're hitting, but we've done a very nice job of educating both our coaches, having our coaches educate our kids on proper techniques of how to hit, as well as the parents educate them and say, hey, these are the signs and symptoms. If there's a concussion, we want to know about it so that we can deal with it. We also, out of those concussions, We probably had about 45 school-wide, well, athletic-wise last year, and 9 of them were actually outside of the athletic arena, somebody falling off a bike or something like that. So those signs and symptoms with the parents, they're catching that, we're able to work with them. We also have an athletic trainer that comes in, well, she's with our program every day, but she'll resize and put more air, fit the helmets to the athlete's head a little bit better. And I know Coach Simon on the varsity level had no concussions this year. So.
Yeah, went the whole year. And I think going back to your first question of how it's changed in 12 years, how we teach the game is much different now, because safety's always been a premium, but I think because of the way the media's handled concussions in football and other sports, you know, we've educated ourselves as well. So how we tackle, how we do drills, how we block, how we teach those things and the proper technique is much more instructive and safe for the kid now than maybe it was a dozen years ago.
Well, thanks so much. That's good to know that that a lot of progress is being made on that. We're almost out of time here. Thank you very much for joining us. Earlier, Ryan had the opportunity to talk to Matt Bessler and Graham Zusi from USA MLS Soccer. We'll have that and more coming up next.
Hello and welcome back to Sports News. Joining us today are Matt Bessler and Graham Zusi of the U.S. Men's National Soccer Team, and they also recently led Sporting Kansas City to the Major League Soccer Championship. Gentlemen, thank you for joining us here today.
Thanks for having us.
Now, what inspired the both of you to get involved with the game of soccer?
Yeah, I got introduced to the game from my parents, and they simply signed me up when I was 4 or 5 years old, and I continued to play the game. I fell in love with it, and you know, here I am still playing the game that I love.
My story is very similar to Matt's. Parents put me in it at a very young age. They didn't know much about it, but pretty glad they did.
Now, with the growing trend of youth soccer, that means there's a lot of young athletes outside practicing, playing their games outdoors. What advice would you give them about importance of staying protected from the sun?
Yeah, I'm glad you asked us about that, because that's the reason that we're here this morning is me and Graham have both teamed up with Coppertone, and we want to help spread the word about the importance of wearing sun protection and wearing sunscreen. I think you see more and more kids out there playing soccer today, and that means more and more time in the sun. And so we're trying to start them at a young age and teach them the importance of wearing sunscreen.
When you guys are playing, for example, what do you use to help protect yourselves from the dangers of the sun and playing in those temperatures?
Yeah, you're absolutely correct, and Coppertone has you covered there. I'm a big fan of the Coppertone Sport. I put the lotion on before I head out to practice every day, and then intermittently I'll use their spray as well to touch myself up. But just a great product. You know, the issue for me growing up was, you know, all that sweat getting into your eyes and it's stinging. Coppertone has really covered that issue, and it's a great product.
Now, as you gentlemen are looking ahead to the rest of your career, what lies ahead? What holds true for the rest of your careers here in soccer?
Well, right now, Matt and I are in the middle of our season with MLS here in Kansas City, but we're both looking forward to this summer playing in the Gold Cup with the national team. It's a big tournament, and we're looking to repeat as champions.
And where can our viewers go for more information about sun safety?
Yeah, it's simple. It's just coppertone.com. Hop on the website. They'll have all the information that you need.
Thank you, gentlemen, very much. From the United States Men's Soccer Team, we'll be right back with more of the sports news in just a moment.
Welcome back to the Sports News. With me now is Chad Herbst. He's a baseball player at McFarland High School, and John Feldner, who's the varsity baseball coach at McFarland. Thanks very much for joining us today.
Thanks for having us.
So how did your recently ended spring baseball conference season go for you guys?
Well, the season went very well. Coming into the year, we knew we had a good shot to win the conference, and it came down to the final weeks in the season. And unfortunately, we lost our final conference game, which didn't allow us to win the championship, but we still had a great season.
Great. Now discuss your completed tournament games that you've done.
Well, we played Edgewood. We had a bye in the first game. We played Edgewood in the second game, And we were fortunate. We played a good game. We had a very good game, and then we played Lodi in the regional final. And Lodi, unfortunately for us, played a better game than we did.
Now, Chad, you were a member of the WBCA South All-Star team. Congratulations on that. What was that experience like?
It was an awesome experience. I was able to play with a bunch of players from throughout the area that I've known over the years, and it was awesome to play with them on a team instead of against them, and get to know them and play with them. So.
And John, I understand, were you one of the South coaches as well?
Yes, this is the second time I had the opportunity to coach in the South team. It's a great experience, not only getting to know the players from different schools, but also coaches from different schools. It's very well worth the time.
Chad, so tell us about your future plans. I hear there's something in the works with baseball at Winona?
Yep. Next year I plan to head up to Winona State and play baseball up there. It's an awesome area, and I've met some of the team already, and it seems like a great team, and I can't wait to be a part of it.
Great. So Coach, what's next year's season look like?
Even though we lost 9 seniors this year to the team, we're going to have 9 seniors again back next year. So we're hoping to rebuild and be competitive in the conference. The Northern Rock's a competitive conference, so we're looking forward to the competition.
So Chad, tell us about your recent baseball experiences in the Madison area. I understand there's been a lot of them.
Yeah. Over the years I played at Madison Kennedy and McFarland Recreational Program, and then traveled teams throughout the area here. So it's been awesome to get to know all different kinds of guys and play with them and build that team camaraderie with them and play well with them. So.
That's great. Thanks so much for being on the show today, you guys. Stay tuned. We'll be right back. From all of us here, I want to thank our guests for stopping by and all of you for tuning in to the CW57 Sports News, brought to you in part by the Red Zone. I'm Stacy Hansen. We'll see you next time.